Hey guys, what's up? It's Trunks and welcome to Clash of Saiyans. On today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at a request from a viewer for farming down in Crystal League using Barbarians, Archers, and Minions as a Town Hall 11. Now I'll go ahead and show you guys some of my attack log. As you can see, sometimes I use the heroes just to snag a few additional resources. Other times I do not, but I've been finding good loot down here in Crystal as a Town Hall 11. So thinking that you have to always push up to the top leagues to get the better loot as a Town Hall 11 is incorrect. As you can see, I've been pulling off good amount of loot down here at the bottom using very cheap armies, and I've been able to do it back to back relatively quick. We'll jump in, show you guys the army that I am using right here. No spells needed. But we'll jump over it. Look, the cost of the army is only 70k in elixir and 360 dark elixir. So I'm saving a ton of resources by using a very cheap army, and I'm able to find plenty of dead bases down in Crystal. But we'll jump into some of these replays. I will show you guys some of the strategies, tips, things to look for, what I'm doing, and then maybe we'll see if we can find a live one here at the end for you guys, and I'll go through the thought process. But as you can see, plenty of dead bases. This one actually is a nice little thing. He put up a nice picture for us, but easily access to these resources around the outside. Just sending in some Barbarians down first, so that way they will tank the mortar fire, then getting the archers down behind, and then sprinkling in some minions where needed. Many people would say, hey, why not use Barbarians and Archers only? Well, at the Town Hall 11 level, when you see some of these dead bases, this one is a lower level Town Hall 11, so it doesn't necessarily matter. But if you get up to the higher level Town Hall 11s, where they have these stronger mortars and wizard towers, the mortars can one-shot your archers, so that's where the Barbarians are down for, so that way they can tank those mortars, or at least just distract them. They don't necessarily tank them, but they will take a couple hits from them. And then the minions. What is the purpose for the minions? Well, if you don't know, wizard towers, yes, they can shoot ground and air, but they can only do one at a time. So if you have archers and minions in at the same spot, the wizard towers can only hit one type of those troops at a time, so that way you're able to distract those wizard towers longer and able to get those resources quicker. You're not going to have your archers just standing out in the open and getting one-shotted, because the minions will take a few hits to get down from those wizard towers, and then your archers will continue just to pick off those elixir or gold storages, collectors, whatever they are that have the loot in it. So that way you're able to get everything that you can from this. Like I said, sometimes I use the heroes, but a lot of times you do not. We're not necessarily pushing trophies here, so you don't have to worry about getting the 50% or the 1-star on this style attack. The main thing is we are just going for the loot. I've been doing this attack a ton. Typically I'm averaging about 350 gold, 350 elixir, and then usually around 1,000 dark elixir per attack. Sometimes I'm below, sometimes I'm high above it, other times I'm super high above it. So it all just kind of varies on the bases that you can find, but the loot, like I said, is still very good. So we'll go ahead, keep jumping into some more of these replays, showing you guys exactly what I'm doing, how I'm getting these. But like I said, plenty of dead bases you can find, so you don't necessarily have to worry about the Infernos, the Eagles, the Expos. Most of the time you're going to find these bases or select bases where these are already taken out. They haven't been reloaded, so you don't have to worry about them getting onto your troops once you get up to the higher areas. Now, some of the things you want to kind of look for is collectors on the outside of the bases. We want to avoid anything that is kind of buried 2 walls in. If they are on the outside, then that is going to be the base that you want to hit. If they're on behind the first layer of buildings, and what I mean by that is, as you see, some of these have camps around the outside, and then you'll see some of these storages on the inside, kind of like this gold storage right here, or gold mine. It's just behind the first wall. That's not too hard to get to. You can kind of send down a first wave, get it cleared out, and then get in there, so that way you can get to that storage. And then, but if you see a bunch of those like that, where they're buried super far in, you may want to just skip the base. It may not be the best for you to be able to assess and get everything. Or that may be a scenario where you want to use your heroes to go in there and just be able to snag that additional last little bit that your barbarians, archers, and minions were not able to get. But a lot of times what I do is I will send them in, use the abilities really quick, just so that way I can save them and have them ready for the next hit, and that way I can continue just to keep raiding and not have to stop for anything else. But like I said, once again, looking at it, you can see from my log a lot of these attacks, I am not going for stars on them. I'm just coming in, getting the loot, and I'm actually maxing out my loot probably in a day or two, and then just waiting on my builders to finish at Town Hall 11 since that build time is so high. But I'm getting tons of loot, getting these walls done extremely fast, so that way I can continue just to keep moving. A whole lot more loot I feel down here. If you don't need dark elixir farming, it is a little bit better to go higher. I still see a good amount of people with some dark elixir down here, but the investment just to get into it is going to be a whole lot more. You're going to need a bigger army just to get to it. But if you're only looking for a little bit of dark elixir here and there, you don't need a ton, or you don't mind just slowly working on those heroes, and you just want to focus on getting that golden elixir, then come down to Crystal. There's a ton of loot, ton of dead bases. So the myth that people say that once you get to Town Hall 10 and 11, the dead bases in Crystal are disappearing is completely false. I'm finding them all day long, and I don't even have to search long. So we'll go ahead. I will show you guys a live attack. I'll show you the search time is extremely slow, or not slow, it's small. So you don't even have to kind of wait. As you see, I'll pop through tons of bases. It's not like getting up in Titan or Legendary League, whatever, where the wait time is extremely high. We'll kind of focus on some of these bases. You can see a lot of these have 400, 500 K in resources, but they're not close to the outside. Now this one, you see they do have a few things, but it looks like the Inferno Towers still kind of up, but all of the collectors are on the outside. One of the big things you kind of want to look for when scouting is look at these elixir collectors. They're the easiest. The darker purple they are, or the more filled they are, that means that there's going to be more in it. And if you look at these storages, you can tell they're empty. See, this is a full elixir collector right there in the middle of the base, and he's got 500K in resources, so we know a good amount of it is going to be on the outside. So we're just going to look real quick, see where all of the collectors are. We got plenty of time. There's a few behind the first set of walls, but we can get most of this just by sending in a few barbarians and archers around this base, and we'll see how much in the end we can collect from all of this. If we see some of the wizard towers around where we are going, then we will try to sneak those minions in there. But in the end, probably what we're going to end up doing on the bottom side are some of these harder to reach places. Go ahead and send in a few of our heroes to go ahead and snag that additional loot in the end. But yeah, mastering the mass spam drop on this, you don't really have to be extremely tactical on how you put this down. Few archers, few barbarians out to tank. We'll be able to get everything. You can see up there we were able to get that elixir storage behind the wall, and now if we look around, there's one gold storage or gold pump on the top side. We may just have to let that one go, and then there are a few down here at the bottom. Actually, what we can do is probably send our queen and warden on the top side. They should be able to get in there, get that that gold pump, and then on the bottom side we'll just send in the Barb King to tank, and then send in the minions that we have stored up behind. And we have tons of archers left, so we can go ahead and get all of these guys up and in there. That top group should be able to take care of that, and we'll go ahead get down the rest of these troops down on the bottom side, get that Barb King down. He'll tank for all of the troops as they work in there. Queen is walking, but she did end up getting that gold storage. There's still, or gold mine, there is still a few additional resources around here somewhere, so we'll have to figure out where they are. I'll go ahead and start getting some of these minions in here. Queen is working somewhere up there. Probably what it is since the storage, the town hall is now a storage, there's going to probably be the remainder of it up in that area. We'll pop that Grand Warden ability. Hopefully that Queen will stay up, and then she's going to go down. But we'll continue working. As you can see, we're getting a ton of resources from this one, though. Probably in the end, we're going to end up with about 350k of resources. So we'll just back out, because in the end, we're not going to get much. But you can see right there, very easily picked up 400k of each and 1,000 in Dark Elixir. And we only spent 70k on the army itself. Train up another one, but we already have one cooked. So if we wanted, we could jump right back in, find another dead base, and just proceed to keep going. The cook time on this army is roughly about 20-22 minutes, so it is a very fast army, especially if you are gemming those barracks. You will get through this very quick, and like I said before, I'm averaging probably about 350k of each resource and 1,000k for the Dark Elixir on this attack. So super cheap, but super quick, and able to net tons of resources. But that is going to wrap up this guide for today on what to look for when using the BAM or Barbarians, Archers, and Minions strategy down in Crystal League as a Town Hall 11. If you guys have any questions, comments, or want to see any other farming styles, please let me know. I will try to get some footage, or at least perform them for you, show you what to look for and everything. But until next time, guys, this is going to be Trunks, helping you stay over 9,000.